November 18th, 1943, 0520 hours, and Captain Hiroshi Yamamoto, commanding the 3rd Company of the 41st Infantry Regiment, peers through the dense jungle undergrowth on Bougainville Island as his soldiers prepare their final assault positions. His men, veterans of brutal close-quarters fighting from Guadalcanal to New Georgia, carry Type 99 rifles with fixed bayonets and the unwavering confidence that comes from 18 months of jungle warfare where Japanese infantry tactics have proven superior to American methods. In hand-to-hand combat, no force on earth matches the discipline and ferocity of Imperial Japanese infantry. What Captain Yamamoto cannot possibly know, what no Japanese infantry officer could comprehend in their most confident moments, is that the American Marines waiting in those defensive positions carry weapons that will transform close-quarters jungle combat forever. Hidden among the standard M1 Garands are Winchester Model 97 and Remington Model 31 combat shotguns loaded with 00 buckshot that will turn jungle fighting into a slaughter. Within minutes, these primitive American hunting weapons will prove that 9.33 caliber pellets fired simultaneously can destroy Japanese infantry tactics more effectively than any rifle, machine gun, or artillery barrage, turning elite Japanese assault troops into scattered casualties before they can close to bayonet range. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. The Imperial Japanese Army's confidence in close-quarters combat comes from a military tradition that emphasizes individual warrior spirit, intensive training in bayonet fighting, and tactical doctrines proven effective through years of combat in China and the early Pacific campaigns. Japanese infantry units pride themselves on their ability to defeat numerically superior forces through superior discipline, aggressive tactics, and willingness to engage in close combat, where American forces typically seek to avoid direct confrontation. Captain Yamamoto's 3rd Company represents the elite of Japanese infantry, composed of soldiers who have survived the brutal fighting on Guadalcanal, where Japanese night attacks consistently penetrated American defensive positions. His men have learned to exploit American weaknesses in close combat, using superior training in bayonet fighting and small unit tactics to achieve victories despite facing enemies with superior firepower and logistical support. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, like this video, it means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. Sergeant Major Kenji Nakamura, veteran of the Shanghai fighting and Yamamoto's senior non-commissioned officer, has developed specialized techniques for jungle assault that maximize Japanese advantages while minimizing exposure to American artillery and air support. His methods emphasize rapid infiltration through dense vegetation, coordinated attacks from multiple directions, and the psychological shock of Japanese battle cries that have proven effective in disrupting American defensive coordination. Japanese infantry training emphasizes close-quarters combat skills that American forces seem to lack, particularly bayonet fighting techniques that enable individual Japanese soldiers to defeat multiple opponents in hand-to-hand encounters. The intensive physical conditioning and weapons training that characterizes Japanese military preparation creates soldiers capable of sustaining aggressive assaults under conditions that break the morale of less disciplined forces. The Imperial Japanese Army's confidence in close-quarters combat comes from a military tradition that emphasizes individual warrior spirit, intensive training in bayonet fighting, and tactical doctrines proven effective through years of combat in China and the early Pacific campaigns. Japanese infantry units pride themselves on their ability to defeat numerically superior forces through superior discipline, aggressive tactics, and willingness to engage in close combat, where American forces typically seek to avoid direct confrontation. Captain Yamamoto's Third Company represents the elite of Japanese infantry, composed of soldiers who have survived the brutal fighting on Guadalcanal, where Japanese night attacks consistently penetrated American defensive positions. His men have learned to exploit American weaknesses in close combat, using superior training in bayonet fighting and small unit tactics to achieve victories despite facing enemies with superior firepower and logistical support. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, like this video, it means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. Sergeant Major Kenji Nakamura, veteran of the Shanghai fighting and Yamamoto's senior non-commissioned officer, has developed specialized techniques for jungle assault that maximize Japanese advantages while minimizing exposure to American artillery and air support. His methods emphasize rapid infiltration through dense vegetation, coordinated attacks from multiple directions, and the psychological shock of Japanese battle cries that have proven effective in disrupting American defensive coordination. Japanese infantry training emphasizes close-quarters combat skills that American forces seem to lack, particularly bayonet fighting techniques that enable individual Japanese soldiers to defeat multiple opponents in hand-to-hand encounters. The intensive physical conditioning and weapons training that characterizes Japanese military preparation creates soldiers capable of sustaining aggressive assaults under conditions that break the morale of less disciplined forces. The Type 99 rifle, with its attached bayonet, represents the pinnacle of Japanese infantry weapons, combining accurate rifle fire with devastating effectiveness in close combat. Japanese soldiers trained extensively in bayonet techniques that enable them to use their rifles as spears, clubs, and slashing weapons depending on tactical circumstances, creating versatile weapons systems that American rifles cannot match in close-quarters fighting. Japanese tactical doctrine for jungle operations emphasizes infiltration and surprise attacks that bring Japanese forces into close contact with American positions before defensive firepower can prove decisive. These tactics exploit the limited visibility and confined spaces of jungle terrain, where American advantages in artillery and air support become less effective, while Japanese superiority in individual combat skills provides maximum advantage. Private First Class Taro Suzuki, the youngest member of Yamamoto's company with 6 months of combat experience, has witnessed Japanese tactics consistently defeating American forces in close combat situations. His confidence reflects the broader Japanese belief that American soldiers lack the warrior spirit necessary for effective close-quarters fighting, preferring to rely on superior equipment rather than developing individual combat skills. The Japanese concept of Yamato Damashi, or Japanese spirit, provides psychological advantages that enable Japanese soldiers to continue fighting under conditions that would break less motivated forces. This spiritual dimension of Japanese military culture creates tactical advantages in close combat, where individual determination and willingness to accept casualties often prove more important than superior equipment or numbers. Japanese intelligence assessments of American infantry capabilities emphasize American reliance on firepower and defensive tactics that avoid the close combat situations where Japanese training provides decisive advantages. These assessments reinforce Japanese confidence in their tactical approaches while underestimating American adaptability and innovation in developing weapons specifically designed for jungle warfare conditions. The experience of Japanese forces in China has validated Japanese infantry tactics against opponents equipped with modern weapons, demonstrating that disciplined assault troops can overcome defensive advantages through aggressive tactics and superior individual combat skills. This combat experience provides confidence that Japanese methods remain effective against American forces, despite differences in equipment and tactical organization. Japanese logistical simplicity enables sustained operations in jungle environments where American forces require extensive supply lines to maintain their equipment-dependent tactical approaches.
Japanese soldiers can operate for extended periods with minimal resupply, creating tactical flexibility that allows sustained pressure against American defensive positions that must maintain communication with supply bases.
What Japanese intelligence networks have completely failed to detect is the systematic adoption of combat shotguns by American Marine units operating in Pacific jungle environments, where conventional rifles prove inadequate for the close-range engagements that characterize island warfare. American tactical innovation has identified shotguns as optimal weapons for jungle fighting, transforming what Japanese forces consider primitive hunting tools into devastating military weapons specifically designed to counter Japanese close assault tactics. The Winchester Model 97 pump-action shotgun, originally designed for civilian hunting and law enforcement, has undergone military modification that creates a weapon ideally suited for jungle warfare conditions. The addition of bayonet lugs, heat shields, and military sling attachments transforms civilian hunting shotguns into military weapons that combine the stopping power of multiple projectiles with the reliability necessary for combat operations under adverse conditions. Staff Sergeant Robert Big Mike O'Brien of the 3rd Marine Division has become a specialist in combat shotgun tactics through extensive training and combat experience that demonstrates the weapon's effectiveness against Japanese assault techniques. His development of close-quarters fighting techniques specifically designed for shotgun employment has influenced Marine Corps tactical doctrine while providing practical methods for maximizing shotgun effectiveness in jungle combat. American ammunition development has produced specialized combat loads for shotgun use that optimize effectiveness against personnel targets while maintaining reliability under tropical conditions. The 00 buckshot loads, standard for military shotguns, deliver 9.33 caliber pellets per round, creating devastating effects at close range that no individual rifle bullet can match, while requiring less precision than conventional firearms. The integration of shotguns with conventional Marine rifle squads creates tactical flexibility that enables American forces to address the full spectrum of jungle combat ranges. While M1 Garand rifles provide effectiveness at extended ranges, shotguns prove devastating in the close quarters engagements that Japanese tactics seek to impose, creating defensive capabilities that Japanese intelligence has not detected or analyzed. Marine Corps training programs have developed specialized techniques for shotgun employment in jungle warfare that maximize the weapon's advantages while compensating for its limitations. These training programs emphasize quick target acquisition, rapid reloading under stress, and coordination with other squad weapons to create overlapping fields of fire that prevent Japanese infiltration tactics from succeeding.
The psychological impact of shotgun fire proves as significant as its physical effects, as the sound and visual effects of multiple projectiles create fear responses that exceed those produced by individual rifle bullets. Japanese soldiers accustomed to the crack of rifle fire encountered the distinctive boom and widespread impact pattern of shotgun blasts that create psychological effects not addressed by Japanese training or tactical doctrine. American industrial capacity enables mass production of combat shotguns in quantities sufficient to equip significant numbers of Marine personnel with specialized jungle warfare weapons. This industrial capability contrasts sharply with Japanese equipment standardization that cannot accommodate specialized weapons for specific tactical environments, creating American flexibility advantages that compound over time. The development of specialized combat techniques for shotgun use includes methods for employment in bunker clearance, jungle path interdiction, and defensive perimeter security that address the specific tactical challenges of Pacific Island warfare. These techniques exploit shotgun characteristics that conventional rifles cannot duplicate while creating tactical capabilities that Japanese forces have not encountered or prepared to counter. Quality control in American shotgun production ensures reliable operation under the harsh environmental conditions of tropical warfare, with weapons that maintain functionality despite exposure to humidity, sand, and vegetation that can compromise more complex weapon systems. This reliability enables sustained combat employment under conditions where weapon failure proves fatal. Training ammunition enables extensive practice with combat shotguns that develops proficiency in American personnel while conserving combat ammunition for operational use. This training capability ensures that American forces can maintain shotgun proficiency despite the limited opportunities for live fire training in forward combat areas where ammunition conservation becomes critical. American tactical intelligence has identified Japanese infantry tactics and developed specific countermeasures that exploit shotgun capabilities against Japanese assault techniques. This intelligence preparation enables American forces to position shotgun-equipped personnel in locations where they can achieve maximum effectiveness against predictable Japanese tactical approaches.
As the November 18th assault approaches, Captain Yamamoto's tactical planning reflects supreme confidence in Japanese infantry superiority based on extensive combat experience that consistently demonstrates Japanese advantages in close-quarters jungle fighting. His assault plan emphasizes exploiting American weaknesses in night fighting and close combat while using Japanese strengths in infiltration, individual combat skills, and psychological warfare to achieve decisive results. The intelligence preparation for the assault indicates that American defensive positions follow standard patterns that Japanese forces have successfully overcome in previous operations. American reliance on defensive firepower and reluctance to engage in close combat create tactical vulnerabilities that Japanese infiltration techniques can exploit, enabling assault forces to penetrate American lines before defensive weapons can prove effective. Sergeant Major Nakamura's briefing to company personnel emphasizes the tactical advantages that Japanese forces maintain over American Marines, particularly in bayonet fighting and close-quarters combat, where Japanese training and warrior spirit provide decisive advantages. His confidence reflects broader Japanese assessment that American forces lack the individual combat skills necessary to prevail in hand-to-hand encounters. Japanese reconnaissance of American positions identifies defensive preparations that appear consistent with standard American tactical doctrine, emphasizing firepower and defensive positioning. The reconnaissance reports indicate no unusual weapons or tactics that might threaten Japanese assault plans, reinforcing confidence that established Japanese methods will prove effective against current American defensive preparations. The tactical plan for the assault incorporates lessons learned from previous successful Japanese operations, emphasizing rapid infiltration through multiple approach routes that divide American defensive attention while enabling concentrated attacks on specific defensive positions. This approach has proven effective in creating breakthrough opportunities that Japanese follow-on forces can exploit to achieve tactical victory. Japanese soldiers receive final briefings that emphasize their superiority in individual combat skills and the psychological advantages that Japanese warrior spirit provides in close combat encounters. These briefings reinforce confidence while providing tactical guidance for exploiting American weaknesses in night fighting and close-quarters combat situations. Equipment preparation includes ensuring that all Japanese weapons are properly maintained and that soldiers carry adequate ammunition for sustained combat operations. The simplicity of Japanese equipment enables reliable operation under jungle conditions, while reducing the logistical requirements that constrain American tactical flexibility in forward combat areas. Physical preparation for the assault includes final conditioning exercises and weapons training that reinforces individual combat skills while building unit cohesion necessary for coordinated assault operations. Japanese emphasis on physical fitness and weapons proficiency creates tactical advantages that American forces seem unable to match through their equipment-dependent approaches. Communication procedures for the assault emphasize maintaining unit coordination while reducing electronic signatures that might alert American forces to Japanese preparations. These communication methods have proven effective in achieving tactical surprise while enabling the coordination necessary for successful multi-direction assault operations. Final inspections ensure that all Japanese personnel understand their individual roles in the assault plan while maintaining the security necessary to prevent American detection of Japanese preparations.
These inspections validate readiness while reinforcing confidence in Japanese tactical superiority and the likelihood of achieving decisive results through established methods. Medical preparation includes positioning aid stations and evacuation routes that enable treatment of casualties while maintaining operational security. Japanese medical planning assumes casualty rates consistent with previous successful operations, reflecting confidence that Japanese tactical advantages will minimize losses while enabling achievement of tactical objectives. Spiritual preparation includes ceremonies that reinforce Japanese warrior spirit and commitment to achieving victory regardless of personal sacrifice. These spiritual elements provide psychological advantages that American forces seem to lack, while creating unit cohesion that enables sustained assault operations under adverse conditions.
By 0630 hours, less than 1 hour after the initial assault began, Japanese forces faced the complete failure of tactical approaches that had proven successful throughout previous Pacific operations. American combat shotguns have created defensive capabilities that Japanese assault doctrine cannot overcome, forcing recognition that fundamental changes in American capabilities have rendered Japanese tactical advantages obsolete. The statistical analysis of Japanese casualties reveals loss rates that exceed 60% within the first hour of contact, primarily caused by multiple projectile wounds from American shotgun fire that prove immediately incapacitating. These casualty rates exceed Japanese ability to sustain assault operations while eliminating experienced personnel whose combat knowledge cannot be replaced through available replacement systems. Captain Yamamoto's after-action assessment acknowledges that Japanese infantry tactics have become obsolete against American defensive weapons, specifically designed to counter Japanese advantages in close combat. His report concludes that conventional Japanese methods cannot succeed against American shotgun employment while requesting immediate tactical guidance for countering unexpected American capabilities. Intelligence analysis of American weapons recovered from the battlefield reveals sophisticated combat shotgun designs that demonstrate American understanding of jungle warfare requirements and Japanese tactical methods. The military modifications to civilian shotgun designs indicate systematic American development of weapons optimized for Pacific theater conditions. Japanese medical facilities treating assault casualties report wound patterns that exceed their treatment capabilities while creating permanent disabilities that eliminate soldiers from further combat service. The multiple projectile wounds characteristic of shotgun fire require surgical techniques and medical resources that Japanese field medical units cannot provide effectively. The tactical implications extend beyond immediate operational failure to fundamental questions about Japanese infantry doctrine and training methods. The realization that American forces have developed specific countermeasures to Japanese tactical approaches suggests intelligence capabilities and adaptive thinking that Japanese planning had not anticipated. Communication intercepts between Japanese units reveal widespread recognition that American defensive capabilities have advanced beyond Japanese ability to counter through available tactical methods. Japanese commanders acknowledge that shotgun employment eliminates the infiltration techniques that Japanese assault doctrine requires for success. As the sun rises over Bougainville on November 18, 1943, the scattered remains of what was once an elite Japanese assault company bear witness to a tactical revolution that has transformed jungle warfare forever. American Marines with primitive hunting shotguns have demonstrated that 9 pellets fired simultaneously can destroy Japanese infantry superiority more effectively than any conventional weapon, eliminating centuries of samurai tradition in 30 minutes of devastating defensive fire. But this tactical shock represents only the beginning of American innovation in close-quarters combat that will revolutionize infantry warfare throughout the Pacific theater.
Physical preparation for the assault includes final conditioning exercises and weapons training that reinforces individual combat skills while building unit cohesion necessary for coordinated assault operations. Japanese emphasis on physical fitness and weapons proficiency creates tactical advantages that American forces seem unable to match through their equipment-dependent approaches. Communication procedures for the assault emphasize maintaining unit coordination while reducing electronic signatures that might alert American forces to Japanese preparations. These communication methods have proven effective in achieving tactical surprise while enabling the coordination necessary for successful multi-direction assault operations. Final inspections ensure that all Japanese personnel understand their individual roles in the assault plan while maintaining the security necessary to prevent American detection of Japanese preparations. These inspections validate readiness while reinforcing confidence in Japanese tactical superiority and the likelihood of achieving decisive results through established methods. Medical preparation includes positioning aid stations and evacuation routes that enable treatment of casualties while maintaining operational security. Japanese medical planning assumes casualty rates consistent with previous successful operations, reflecting confidence that Japanese tactical advantages will minimize losses while enabling achievement of tactical objectives. Spiritual preparation includes ceremonies that reinforce Japanese warrior spirit and commitment to achieving victory regardless of personal sacrifice. These spiritual elements provide psychological advantages that American forces seem to lack, while creating unit cohesion that enables sustained assault operations under adverse conditions.
At 0537 hours, as the first Japanese assault elements emerge from the jungle undergrowth into the kill zones that American defensive positions have prepared, Captain Yamamoto's soldiers encounter weapons effects that violate every assumption underlying Japanese infantry tactics. The distinctive boom of shotgun fire creates sound signatures the Japanese soldiers have never experienced in combat, while the devastating effects of multiple projectiles simultaneously impact Japanese assault formations. The first indication that American defensive preparations differ from previous encounters comes when Private First Class Suzuki, leading the point element, experiences what he initially mistakes for machine gun fire, but quickly recognizes as something far more devastating. The impact pattern and sound signature indicate weapons that fire multiple projectiles simultaneously, creating effects that single bullets cannot produce while covering areas that individual rifle fire cannot address. Unknown American weapons firing multiple projectiles, Suzuki reports over his portable radio as he seeks cover from defensive fire that seems to fill the entire jungle space with projectiles. Standard cover ineffective. American fire covers entire approach routes. Staff Sergeant O'Brien's shotgun position, carefully prepared to cover the most likely Japanese approach route, delivers devastating firepower that stops the Japanese assault in its initial phase. His Winchester Model 97 fires double-aught buckshot rounds that deliver 9.33 caliber pellets per shot, creating impact patterns that no Japanese soldier can avoid through conventional cover or maneuver techniques. The tactical coordination between American shotgun positions and conventional rifle fire creates layered defensive effects that prevent Japanese infiltration tactics from achieving the close contact necessary for Japanese combat advantages. American defensive planning has positioned shotgun-equipped Marines to cover the close-range approaches where Japanese tactics seek to negate American firepower advantages. Japanese assault techniques that depend on rapid movement through jungle vegetation encounter American defensive fire that covers entire areas rather than specific target points. The spread pattern of shotgun pellets eliminates the individual movement techniques that enable Japanese soldiers to avoid aimed rifle fire while approaching American defensive positions. Captain Yamamoto attempts to adapt Japanese assault tactics to counter unexpected American weapons effects, but discovers that shotgun characteristics prevent the close approach necessary for Japanese bayonet fighting advantages. His soldiers report that American fire seems to fill entire jungle spaces, making individual movement impossible while preventing the coordinated assault techniques that Japanese tactics require. The psychological impact of shotgun fire proves as devastating as its physical effects, as Japanese soldiers encounter weapon sounds and effects that their training has not addressed. The boom of shotgun discharge and the widespread impact of multiple projectiles create fear responses that exceed those produced by conventional rifle fire,
while disrupting the psychological preparation the Japanese assault tactics require. Communication between Japanese assault elements reveals growing confusion and concern as standard Japanese tactics prove ineffective against American defensive weapons that prevent close combat engagement. Japanese soldiers report American weapons that seem designed specifically to counter Japanese infiltration techniques, while creating defensive effects that conventional rifles cannot achieve. Sergeant Major Nakamura's attempts to coordinate Japanese assault techniques face the fundamental problem that American shotgun fire prevents the individual movement and cover techniques that Japanese jungle tactics require. His experience with American defensive methods provides no guidance for countering weapons that create area effects rather than point targets. The medical treatment of Japanese casualties reveals wound patterns that differ significantly from conventional rifle bullet injuries. Japanese medical personnel report multiple projectile wounds that indicate American ammunition designed to maximize damage against personnel targets, while creating injury patterns that Japanese medical training has not addressed. Japanese tactical radios carry increasingly desperate reports as assault elements discover that American defensive preparations include weapons specifically designed to counter Japanese close assault tactics. The reports indicate that conventional Japanese methods cannot overcome American defensive arrangements that seem to anticipate and counter Japanese tactical approaches.
Within 30 minutes of initial contact, Japanese assault forces confront the devastating reality that American combat shotguns have eliminated the tactical advantages the Japanese infantry tactics depend upon for success. The multiple projectile effects of shotgun fire create casualty rates that exceed anything Japanese forces have experienced, while preventing the close combat engagements where Japanese training provides decisive advantages. The Winchester Model 97 shotguns employed by American Marines demonstrate devastating effectiveness against Japanese assault formations attempting to infiltrate through dense jungle vegetation. Each shotgun blast delivers 9.33 caliber pellets that create impact patterns covering several square meters, ensuring hits against targets that individual rifle bullets might miss, while creating multiple wound channels that prove immediately incapacitating. Private First Class Suzuki's assault element suffers 75% casualties within the first 10 minutes of contact as American shotgun fire systematically destroys Japanese attempts at infiltration and close approach. The spread pattern of shotgun pellets prevents the individual movement techniques that enable Japanese soldiers to avoid aimed fire while approaching close enough for bayonet combat. American weapons make individual movement impossible, Suzuki reports, during his final radio transmission before being wounded by multiple pellet hits that penetrate his equipment and create disabling injuries. Entire approach routes covered by multiple projectile fire cannot close to fighting distance. Staff Sergeant O'Brien's tactical employment of his Winchester Model 97 demonstrates the devastating effectiveness of shotguns against Japanese infiltration techniques. His position, carefully prepared to cover multiple approach routes, enables him to engage Japanese soldiers with weapons effects that conventional rifles cannot duplicate, while maintaining the rate of fire necessary to prevent Japanese tactical recovery. The Remington Model 31 shotguns employed by other Marine positions create overlapping fields of fire that eliminate gaps in defensive coverage while providing backup capabilities when primary weapons require reloading. This tactical arrangement prevents Japanese forces from exploiting the reloading intervals that enable successful infiltration in conventional defensive situations. Japanese bayonet techniques, perfected through extensive training and combat experience, prove useless against American defensive arrangements that prevent Japanese soldiers from closing to hand-to-hand combat range. The effective range of combat shotguns creates standoff distances that negate Japanese advantages in individual combat skills while maintaining American advantages in firepower and defensive positioning. The ammunition capacity of American combat shotguns enables sustained defensive fire that prevents Japanese tactical recovery or reorganization. While Japanese forces attempt to exploit what they assume are reloading opportunities,
American Marines demonstrate the ability to maintain continuous fire through coordinated reloading techniques and multiple weapon positions. Communication intercepts revealed Japanese recognition that American defensive weapons have eliminated the tactical advantages that Japanese assault doctrine depends upon for success. Japanese commanders report that conventional tactics prove ineffective against American weapons designed specifically to counter Japanese close assault techniques. The medical impact of shotgun wounds on Japanese personnel creates casualty patterns that overwhelm Japanese medical capabilities while eliminating effective soldiers from continued combat operations. Japanese medical reports describe wound patterns that require immediate evacuation rather than field treatment, reducing Japanese combat strength beyond the simple casualty count. Captain Yamamoto's attempts to coordinate alternative assault approaches discover that American shotgun employment covers all practical approach routes while creating defensive effects that prevent Japanese tactical adaptation. His tactical experience provides no precedent for countering weapons that eliminate individual movement while creating area denial effects. The psychological impact on Japanese soldiers proves as devastating as physical casualties, as troops trained for aggressive assault encounter defensive weapons that prevent the close combat where Japanese confidence and training provide advantages. Japanese morale deteriorates as soldiers recognize that their tactical methods cannot overcome American defensive arrangements.
By 0630 hours, less than 1 hour after the initial assault began, Japanese forces faced the complete failure of tactical approaches that had proven successful throughout previous Pacific operations. American combat shotguns have created defensive capabilities that Japanese assault doctrine cannot overcome, forcing recognition that fundamental changes in American capabilities have rendered Japanese tactical advantages obsolete. The statistical analysis of Japanese casualties reveals loss rates that exceed 60% within the first hour of contact, primarily caused by multiple projectile wounds from American shotgun fire that prove immediately incapacitating. These casualty rates exceed Japanese ability to sustain assault operations while eliminating experienced personnel whose combat knowledge cannot be replaced through available replacement systems. Captain Yamamoto's after-action assessment acknowledges that Japanese infantry tactics have become obsolete against American defensive weapons, specifically designed to counter Japanese advantages in close combat. His report concludes that conventional Japanese methods cannot succeed against American shotgun employment while requesting immediate tactical guidance for countering unexpected American capabilities. Intelligence analysis of American weapons recovered from the battlefield reveals sophisticated combat shotgun designs that demonstrate American understanding of jungle warfare requirements and Japanese tactical methods. The military modifications to civilian shotgun designs indicate systematic American development of weapons optimized for Pacific theater conditions. Japanese medical facilities treating assault casualties report wound patterns that exceed their treatment capabilities while creating permanent disabilities that eliminate soldiers from further combat service. The multiple projectile wounds characteristic of shotgun fire require surgical techniques and medical resources that Japanese field medical units cannot provide effectively. The tactical implications extend beyond immediate operational failure to fundamental questions about Japanese infantry doctrine and training methods. The realization that American forces have developed specific countermeasures to Japanese tactical approaches suggests intelligence capabilities and adaptive thinking that Japanese planning had not anticipated. Communication intercepts between Japanese units reveal widespread recognition that American defensive capabilities have advanced beyond Japanese ability to counter through available tactical methods. Japanese commanders acknowledge that shotgun employment eliminates the infiltration techniques that Japanese assault doctrine requires for success.
As the sun rises over Bougainville on November 18, 1943, the scattered remains of what was once an elite Japanese assault company bear witness to a tactical revolution that has transformed jungle warfare forever. American Marines with primitive hunting shotguns have demonstrated that 9 pellets fired simultaneously can destroy Japanese infantry superiority more effectively than any conventional weapon, eliminating centuries of samurai tradition in 30 minutes of devastating defensive fire. But this tactical shock represents only the beginning of American innovation in close-quarters combat that will revolutionize infantry warfare throughout the Pacific theater. Throughout December 1943, Japanese military commanders across the Pacific theater face an unprecedented crisis as they struggle to develop infantry tactics capable of countering American shotgun employment that has rendered traditional Japanese assault methods obsolete. The tactical challenge involves creating new approaches to close-quarters combat that can succeed against weapons specifically designed to eliminate Japanese advantages in individual fighting skills and infiltration techniques. Colonel Masaharu Hama, commanding the 41st Infantry Regiment, convenes emergency tactical conferences with surviving company commanders and experienced non-commissioned officers to develop countermeasures against American shotgun tactics that have eliminated Japanese infantry effectiveness in jungle operations. His analysis reveals that conventional Japanese doctrine provides no guidance for countering weapons that create area effects rather than point targets. The examination of American shotgun ammunition recovered from Bougainville battlefields provides shocking evidence of American tactical thinking specifically designed to counter Japanese infantry methods. The .00 buckshot loads deliver 9.33 caliber pellets per round, creating impact patterns that eliminate the individual movement techniques Japanese soldiers rely upon for survival in close combat situations. Major Ichiro Tanaka, battalion intelligence officer, conducts detailed interviews with survivors of the November 18th assault to understand exactly how American shotgun employment defeated Japanese tactics. His findings indicate that American defensive arrangements were specifically prepared to counter Japanese infiltration methods while providing overlapping coverage that prevented tactical recovery or adaptation. Japanese medical analysis of shotgun wounds reveals injury patterns that differ fundamentally from conventional rifle bullet damage, creating multiple trauma sites that require immediate medical evacuation rather than field treatment. Dr. Saburo Hayashi, senior medical officer, reports that shotgun casualties require surgical resources that Japanese field medical units cannot provide while operating under combat conditions. Training modifications for Japanese replacement personnel must address American capabilities that Japanese tactical doctrine had never encountered, requiring fundamental changes in assault approaches while acknowledging that traditional Japanese methods have become obsolete. These training revisions face the challenge of developing new techniques without abandoning the aggressive spirit that characterizes Japanese infantry culture. By early 1944, American military leadership recognizes the devastating effectiveness of combat shotguns against Japanese infantry tactics and begins systematic expansion of shotgun employment throughout Marine and Army units operating in Pacific jungle environments. This tactical innovation spreads rapidly as unit commanders witness the decisive advantages that shotguns provide in close-quarters combat situations that characterize island warfare. General Douglas MacArthur's headquarters issues tactical guidance encouraging increased shotgun employment based on combat reports demonstrating superior effectiveness against Japanese assault tactics compared to conventional rifles in jungle warfare conditions. His staff analysis concludes that shotguns represent optimal weapons for the close-range engagements the Japanese forces seek to impose on American defensive positions. The Winchester Repeating Arms Company receives expanded contracts for military shotgun production, converting civilian manufacturing lines to produce combat-modified weapons in quantities sufficient to equip significant portions of American infantry forces. These production increases demonstrate American industrial flexibility in adapting to tactical requirements identified through combat experience. Training programs for American personnel expand to include systematic instruction in combat shotgun employment emphasizing techniques specifically designed to counter Japanese infiltration and assault methods. These training programs develop standardized procedures that maximize shotgun effectiveness while ensuring reliable performance under combat stress conditions. Ammunition development programs produce specialized combat loads optimized for anti-personnel effectiveness in jungle warfare conditions, including buckshot variations and slug rounds that provide different tactical capabilities depending on engagement requirements. These specialized loads enable American forces to adapt their ammunition to specific tactical situations while maintaining standard weapon systems.
Supply chain development ensures adequate ammunition and replacement parts availability for expanded shotgun employment across Pacific Theater operations. This logistical capability enables sustained operations using specialized weapons while maintaining the reliability necessary for combat effectiveness under forward deployment conditions.
Throughout the first half of 1944, Japanese attempts to develop effective countermeasures to American shotgun tactics consistently fail, as each proposed solution creates new vulnerabilities while failing to address the fundamental advantages that shotgun employment provides in jungle warfare. The systematic failure of Japanese adaptation efforts demonstrates that American tactical innovation has achieved advantages that Japanese military culture and industrial capabilities cannot overcome. Colonel Homa's experiments with modified assault tactics that attempt to avoid the close ranges where shotgun fire proves most effective discovered that standoff approaches eliminate the Japanese advantages in individual combat skills that form the foundation of Japanese tactical doctrine. Alternative approaches that maintain Japanese strengths prove vulnerable to American rifle fire at extended ranges, where shotgun limitations might otherwise provide opportunities. Japanese attempts to acquire or develop automatic weapons that might provide suppressive fire capabilities against American shotgun positions face insurmountable industrial limitations, as Japanese manufacturing capacity cannot support production of specialized weapons while maintaining standard equipment supplies necessary for ongoing operations across multiple combat theaters. Training programs designed to teach Japanese soldiers techniques for countering shotgun employment prove unsuccessful, as effective countermeasures require equipment and capabilities that Japanese forces do not possess. Alternative training approaches that emphasize avoiding shotgun engagement eliminate the aggressive assault tactics that characterize Japanese infantry effectiveness, while failing to provide substitute methods for achieving tactical objectives. Medical facilities treating Japanese casualties from encounters with American shotgun-equipped units report wound patterns that exceed Japanese field medical capabilities, while creating permanent disabilities that eliminate experienced soldiers from further combat service. These medical impacts compound personnel losses beyond simple casualty statistics, while reducing Japanese combat effectiveness.
As 1944 progresses, with Japanese infantry casualties reaching unsustainable levels against American forces equipped with combat shotguns, Japanese military leadership implements increasingly desperate measures that acknowledge the permanent obsolescence of traditional infantry tactics, while failing to develop effective alternatives that might restore Japanese combat effectiveness in jungle warfare environments. General Hideki Tojo's headquarters issues classified directives acknowledging that Japanese infantry tactics require complete revision due to American tactical innovations. But these directives provide no practical guidance for developing alternative methods while maintaining the aggressive spirit that characterizes Japanese military culture. The directives represent official acknowledgement of tactical failure without providing solutions. Emergency research programs investigate radical alternatives to conventional infantry tactics, including increased reliance on artillery and air support that might enable Japanese forces to avoid the close-quarters combat where American shotgun employment proves most devastating. These alternative approaches face resource limitations and tactical constraints that prevent effective implementation. Training modifications attempt to develop new Japanese assault techniques that might succeed against American shotgun defenses. But experimental programs consistently demonstrate that effective countermeasures require equipment and capabilities that Japanese industrial capacity cannot provide under wartime conditions. Propaganda efforts attempt to minimize the psychological impact of tactical obsolescence by emphasizing Japanese spiritual advantages and American dependence on superior equipment. But these propaganda messages conflict with soldiers' direct combat experience while failing to address practical tactical problems that determine survival in combat situations. Diplomatic initiatives explore possibilities for acquiring advanced weapons technology through German or other Axis allies that might enable Japanese forces to develop capabilities comparable to American innovations. These diplomatic efforts achieve minimal success while revealing that Allied nations face similar technological disadvantages against American industrial capabilities. Industrial mobilization programs attempt to develop Japanese production capacity for specialized weapons that might counter American tactical advantages. But these programs require resources and technical capabilities that Japanese wartime economy cannot provide while maintaining basic military equipment production necessary for ongoing operations.
Medical lessons learned from treating shotgun wounds establish trauma surgery techniques and field medical procedures that continue influencing modern military medicine. The multiple projectile wound patterns created by shotgun fire provide case studies for developing treatment protocols applicable to modern fragmentation weapons and explosive devices. Research institution integration with tactical development, demonstrated through American academic contributions to shotgun employment techniques, establishes models for modern military academic cooperation that accelerates tactical innovation while ensuring practical application of theoretical advances to operational requirements. The economic analysis of specialized weapons production provides frameworks for modern military budgeting that must balance performance advantages against resource costs while maintaining industrial capacity for rapid expansion when tactical requirements change due to enemy innovations or environmental factors. Strategic implications of tactical innovation demonstrate how advantages in specific warfare areas can influence broader operational success through cumulative effects that extend beyond immediate tactical applications. Modern military strategy continues recognizing tactical innovation as critical elements of operational effectiveness that require sustained investment and institutional support. Documentation of tactical surprise provides historical examples for modern intelligence assessment that must identify emerging enemy capabilities before they achieve operational deployment. Intelligence communities continue studying the Japanese failure to detect American shotgun development as case studies in intelligence analysis and threat assessment methodologies. Educational programs studying combat shotgun development provide technical foundations for modern infantry weapons development that must address increasingly complex tactical environments. Military engineering schools continue teaching weapons design principles using historical examples that demonstrate the practical importance of matching weapons characteristics to specific tactical requirements.
The systematic defeat of Japanese infantry by American combat shotgun employment marks the end of an era when individual fighting skills and traditional tactical methods could overcome technological innovation and specialized weapons development. This tactical transformation demonstrates how systematic analysis of enemy methods, combined with appropriate technology application, can achieve decisive advantages over opponents who maintain superiority in traditional military areas. The personal stories of Japanese soldiers who experience the obsolescence of their tactical training provide human perspectives on military transformation that renders professional expertise obsolete within remarkably short periods. These individual experiences demonstrate how technological innovation can change warfare faster than military cultures can adapt their institutional knowledge and tactical approaches. The industrial achievement represented by American rapid deployment of combat shotguns establishes precedents for military-industrial responsiveness that continue influencing modern defense planning and procurement. The demonstration that existing technology can be adapted quickly to address specific tactical requirements provides strategic lessons that remain relevant for contemporary military competition. The tactical innovations developed during American shotgun programs establish close-quarters combat principles and specialized weapons employment techniques that continue influencing modern infantry development. Contemporary military forces continue studying shotgun employment as foundations for developing weapons and tactics optimized for specific operational environments. The strategic consequences of American tactical superiority demonstrate how advantages in specialized warfare areas can enable broader operational success through effects that extend beyond immediate tactical applications. The elimination of Japanese infantry effectiveness enabled subsequent operations that would have been impossible under conditions of Japanese tactical parity or superiority. The international implications of American innovation leadership, established through shotgun development, influence post-war military relationships and technology transfer arrangements. The demonstration of American tactical adaptability and industrial responsiveness creates strategic advantages that continue affecting international relations and alliance structures. The technological legacy of combat shotgun development influences subsequent American weapons programs that continue emphasizing practical effectiveness over theoretical performance, while maintaining industrial capacity for rapid adaptation to changing tactical requirements identified through operational experience. The human cost of Japanese tactical obsolescence, measured in casualties and psychological trauma, demonstrates the importance of maintaining tactical competitiveness through continuous innovation and adaptation, rather than relying on traditional methods that enemy innovation might render obsolete. Modern military planning continue emphasizing tactical flexibility as essential elements of personnel protection and mission effectiveness. The ultimate legacy of American shotgun employment lies in its demonstration that systematic approaches to tactical analysis and weapons application can achieve decisive advantages over opponents who maintain superiority in traditional areas but lack institutional flexibility for adaptation to changing warfare conditions. This lesson continues influencing modern military competition, where success requires continuous innovation rather than mastery of static tactical methods.